Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited because my doggy is staying. He's had a horrible stage fright for many weeks. We'll see. He may get up and run off, but I'm glad he's here now. This is Sherlock, by the way. Um, so one thing I keep forgetting to talk about, I always include in the description box my link to my Patreon page. So if you would like to support the channel and what we're doing here, I'm trying to raise awareness on climate change and give people tools to use in their individual meditation practices. Thank you very much, and support is appreciated. Also, in the description box is my email if you would be interested in booking a personal reading. So that's always in there in the box below. And with that, let's get right on in. So I recently upgraded my unicorn deck to the Oracle of the Unicorns. So I was looking through the book and wanted to do a special spread on them. And so this is the elemental star. So the positions are air, fire, earth, water, and spirit. And the questions I'm doing right now, instead of asking about specific details about climate change, because we know. So the way I'm asking spirits is, what messages does this deck have for us? What Gaia message through whatever medium I'm using. What do we need to know? What message do you have for us regarding climate change? So, thank you, baby. You can mess up the cards all you want. That's okay. Yes, you go right ahead. Okay, so in the air energy, adventure. And thinking about how the elements are related in Tarot. So Tarot air is swords, which is the mind. Dare to do things differently is our message here on this card. So I'm interpreting that to mean that from our mental space, we need to be in the mindset of adventure. Because this is so daunting, I think, and because, there's a lot of, it's very easy to just feel overwhelmed and like there's, and powerless. So where we want to be in our mind is in a state of daring adventure where we're breaking out of our boxes and daring to do things in a different way, because that we need to be radical in changing how we do things. Then in fire, action. And again, that's kind of a duh, but really, we really, right now, yesterday, we need to take action. Now is the perfect time to act. Take inspired action towards your dreams. Move forward with confidence. So we want to be very confident in our adventure. In the earth position, delight. Delight in the physical existence here on earth. We have all incarnated in physicality at this time for very specific purposes, even if we haven't discovered what those are for ourselves yet. I know I've gotten great clarity on my purpose for being incarnate here now. And this has a lot to do with it, doing these readings. And one of the things I'm really moved by this particular reading is, you know, the message of gentleness, along with, you know, great need, but we're urged to be gentle. Delight in our earth and physical beingness. Water, dance, movement, swift movement. We really need to move, move, move. So it's such an amazing reading. Adventure and action, delight and dance. In the spirit position, cycles. So there are natural cycles of climate change in the history of the earth. We know this to be true. You know, we know that there's been mass extinctions many times before. And, you know, as I've often said, George Carlin's line about the planet is doing fine. You know, the planet will shrug us off and we'll just get recycled along with our mess. And, you know, new life will evolve. It may take millions of years, you know, by the way that we reckon time. But the planet really is doing fine. But if we want to protect the environment that we depend on, we need to take account for how we have interfered in Earth's natural cycles. And from the view of spirit, one of the best ways to do this is to tune into the cycles of our own bodies, and become more in sync with the natural cycles of the earth, the natural cycles of our body, the natural cycles of our earth. Get off our addiction to Western medicine. Get off the crap food that causes us to need the crap medicine. You know, start eating real food again. You don't have time to cook? Make time. Eat real food. Don't eat processed garbage. Give up the soda pop. We can't afford to make the containers for it anymore. And just drink water. Not bottled water. Get a filter for your faucet. If you know, live on tap water, you don't have your own perfect sparkling well, whatever it is. Purify at the micro level. Get in tune with your own body's rhythm. Okay, sorry, that got a little ranty there. It was just things were starting to flow. And then to, you know, I can't just do a reading with one deck for some reason. You may have noticed, if you are a regular viewer, that I have a lot of decks. My kids think I have a problem. Mom, you don't need another deck. No, but I do. Anyway, to go along with the Elemental Star from our unicorns, I used my Moon deck for an As Above and the Amenti Oracle for As Below. If you're familiar with the Emerald Tablets, the halls of Amenti are described as being at the center of the earth. Oh, but one, before I move into the Moon deck, bottom of the deck from the unicorns, the Oracle of the Unicorns, trust. Leap into the unknown. Have faith and move forward. Believe you will fly. Trust in ourselves. Trust in ourselves and know that we have the power to do this. We do. Even if you're just a nobody, trailer trash throw putz like me, you know, I know that my meditations have great power. I know that these messages that I'm doing in these YouTube readings, even if they're not getting viewed, because thanks to the new YouTube algorithm that favors all things corporate, thank you very much, YouTube, still the message is getting out there. I am connected to the quantum field, the all, and my vibrational frequencies of these thoughts and words and messages going out affect, they still ripple like waves through the unified quantum field that is the all, or spirit, or source, or God, or whatever you want to call it, that we are all a part of. So my efforts here, even if I only get, you know, half a dozen views on it, it's still having an effect. I am still making progress. Trust. Trust in your own power. All right, and then additional comment as above from the moon. I just bring them all up here. Assessing, realization, and what was I saying? Oh yeah, power. Right? So, assessing. First card. We have assessed the situation. We know what's going on. We have enough science and enough experts. Okay? There's no mystery left here. We've assessed, right? Realized, realization. Oh, yeah, we've really screwed this up. But what do we have? We have the power. We truly do. We just have to make the choice to use it. And then bottom of the moon deck, purity. And then this really blew me away, because then the first card out of the Amenti Oracle, I hold purity in high esteem. Now the divination for both of these oracles on this concept of purity is not the purity that you're familiar with from religion. Okay, we're not talking about virginal or chaste or untouched. Purity in how we interact with the world. So purity as in integrity. Yes, it is. It's pure. It's clean. It is unspoiled, but not because of lack of exposure. As you in that virginal concept of purity, not that kind of purity, but purity in action. Purity in action. Second card from the Amenti Oracle. I give offerings that are genuine. There's been, so it's a long-held belief in Western society that, you know, giving is better than receiving. It's better to give than receive. And that you give, you know, as an act of sacrifice, that you give, you know, to show your piety. And then in a lot of the New Thought movement and, you know, some of the law of attraction folks, you know, there's this idea of, you know, they're right, but they kind of miss the mark a little bit about how, you know, everything that you give, you get back sevenfold. Yes, this is a fundamental reality of the way the unified quantum field works. You know, it is an attraction-based universe, as Abraham Hicks says all the time. But the non-charlatan practitioners teaching manifestation and law of attraction will tell you that if you give to get, it will not work. It will backfire. So I give offerings that are genuine. No, non-attachment. Non-attachment. And in the discussion on this card in the Featherheart book of the Amenti Oracle, so everybody is familiar with the famous quote of Jesus that it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. And one of the real values of deep study into the ancients and their writings, and also seeking other sources, the eye of a needle was the name of a particular gate into Jerusalem that was very, very narrow. And the only way a camel could pass through it was if it didn't have any load or baggage on it. So take 2.6 on this video. It has just been an unbelievable comedy of errors. So now that we've had a little sound clearing, I believe where I left off, we were discussing I give offerings that are genuine. And I was commenting on the work in this book where under this card she talks about the famous quote of Jesus: it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter heaven. And so again, just kind of looping back on where I was wrapping up at, the study of cross-referencing the ancients. We've lost, there's so much that is, we have the words, but we've lost the cultural context of the metaphors. So the eye of a needle was also the name of a particular gate in Jerusalem. And the only way that a camel could pass through it was it had to be completely stripped bare of all cargo. Nothing, no saddles, nothing. Everything had to be taken off. And if you know anything about animal husbandry, camels are, reluctant servants. They're actually highly intelligent and strong-willed. So, you have to lead the camel through the eye of the, that was why it was named that. So the way Jennifer interprets it in here, and I think it's a much more accurate interpretation of the metaphor, you cannot enter heaven with any attachments. So the camel can only go through the eye of the needle as itself and only itself. It cannot bring any, there's no baggage allowed. No baggage. You gotta dump your baggage. So we don't give offerings to get. And anybody who is any level of practitioner on the spiritual path and manifestation and quantum understanding will tell you that if you give to get, that will backfire. It will backfire. The point of giving is just to do it. No expectation. Offerings that are genuine. Okay. So again, purity of intent. There's no ulterior motive. And lastly, third card from the Amenti Oracle, I am trustful in my relationships. So and relationship at all levels. The first relationship, of course, being that with yourself. Self-love, self-care, svakaruna, deepest self-compassion. Trust in the unified field, source, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. Colette Baron Reed calls it quantum Fred. That's one of my favorites. And the only thing that really matters is that you understand that we are vibrational beings. The 40 trillion cells in our body are made up of, you know, molecules that are made up of atoms, and that at that level there is no difference between our physical bodies and the rest of the quantum field, the atomic field. It's just one. My primary mentor, life coach, Rika Zimmerman. Mercury retrograde. I'm talking good. Camera's working good. Yay. Calls it the isness. And that's just such an elegant, clear description. Accurate. Anyway, I am trustful in my relationships. And for me, the challenge level on this one is being trusting of other people. I manifested a lot of betrayal in my life. And, you know, I'm only just, you know, coming out of a huge Kundalini awakening experience and dark night of the soul period. And getting new perspectives on all of those betrayals. And, you know, evolving into the place of gratitude for them, because, well, apparently I'm just a slow learner, okay? It took really extreme measures to wake me up. So, trusting other people is my challenge area. We'll just leave it at that. But echoing from the unicorns, right? Trust. Trust, trust, trust. Faith, belief, trust. Okay, before I sidetrack into something else, bottom of the Amenti Oracle, I am kind. And again, here we're talking, you know, Dalai Lama level of kindness, not not a false face that we wear socially, but kindness at you know, just a level of beingness, not just a state of mind, you know, bigger than that even. Your state of existence. So in reflection, yeah, wow, we totally have the power to do this, everybody. Oh God, such a beautiful reading. Personally, I'm wowed by the artwork of these amazing folks, artists and authors that put together these amazing decks. Also, I was just drawn back to the unicorns, and so we had trust at the bottom of the deck. And what was next? Oh, strength. We can do this. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I do have some new editing software, so hopefully I'll be taking out some of the ums and ahs. That's one thing I've noticed as I've done some reviews of these videos is, oh my god, I say all the time and Well, yes, sorry, I'm a rookie. Thank you for your patience, and we'll see you in the next video.